was March of 1841. Dorothea Dix was 39 years old. She volunteered at the East Cambridge Jail for women inmates on a Sunday school. Upon entering the jail, she witnessed so much horrible images inside her head that it changed her life forever, involving prostitutional delinquents, drunks, criminals of all sorts, and the mentally ill, all caged into that one jail. But the worst part about it was there's no heat inside that jail whatsoever. It was as cold as can be. And the reasoning behind this was the fact that the mentally ill could not tell the difference between heat nor cold. And honestly, to me, that's a pathetic excuse. And so did Dorothy Dix. She felt the same way about it as I did. And she decided to do something about it because no one else at the time in her community felt the same way that she did about the mentally ill. But she was different. She was going to change her community and do something about it. She was going to change life as we know it for the mentally ill. This is Dorothea Dix and the mentally ill.
Dorothy's views on the treatment of the mentally ill were radical for her time. The popular belief was that the mentally ill could not be cured, especially in the state that they were living in. But Dorothy saw through the nonsense and knew mentally illness could be cured. But nobody believed her. They thought she was crazy. No one knew she was capable enough to cure something as big as the mentally ill. But she was about to prove them wrong.
So Dorothy decided to convince the non-believers by giving many examples on how there were possible ways to cure the mentally ill. One including a raging maniac, caged behind a cage, whipped for her words and actions, was soon found to her senses when a husband and a wife decided to take her in, only then to slowly recover her senses. So Dorothy decided to use this process to her advantage and cure every single mentally ill person she could and find by going state to state, starting with every state on the east side of the Mississippi River and finding every single mentally ill person she could to find their story, their situation, their problem, and working hard to recover it. Proving everyone that has previously thought she couldn't wrong. And she eventually continued this process until things have changed for the mentally ill, until she has resolved the problem for her situation of all the mentally ill people that she witnessed through the course of her life.
After accomplishing so much in her time, Dorothy decided to fulfill her dream in 1848 to set aside 5 million acres! That's right.
5
million acres aside to the treatment and the care of the mentally ill. But she was a little behind her time when she decided to do this in 1848. But she kept trying. She sent documents to the United States Congress. She sent letters, complained, and she eventually convinced them in 1854 when a bill was passed by both houses. And she eventually accomplished her dream, but to no avail. It was soon vetoed by Franklin Pierce. But that didn't stop her. But after being physically worn out trying to accomplish her goal, she decided to take a break in Europe. Being physically worn out after 13 years, that's right, 13 years of taking care of the mentally ill, she decided to take a break. Because, to her, she accomplished a lot. And, in my opinion, she did as well. And I feel that she is a great woman. She was a passionate woman for the mentally ill. A pure coincidence of how it started, but eventually it has changed many out there. And still today, because of Dorothea Dix, she has changed a whole line of people, a whole section, a whole specific range of people of our population. And to me, that means a lot. She's a hero to all that would ever appreciate her work, and I do appreciate Dorothea and all the work she set aside for the mentally ill. I applaud her, and you guys should too. But the changes that she has made had such an impact in the world after what she saw at East Cambridge Jail when she was 39 years old in March of 1841. mentally ill people now have the treatment in our hospitals today to be cured, just as she did. She was a major part of our history, and all of the mentally ill people. And I just can't, I can't state how much that means to me inside. It just blows me away.